Good evening, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 59th edition of Alabama Crimson Tide Live from yours truly, Jackson Johnson, and my partner, crime Jeffrey, at Only Talk Sports, as we go over the preview of the South Carolina matchup with a very good friend of ours from South Carolina at the Voice of College Football and Inside the Huddle in just a little bit. And let me tell you something, folks, it's going to be a wild ride. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
I am doing great, Jackson. Excited to get into the 59th edition of Alabama Crimson Tide Live. And coming off 4 straight ranked wins, feeling pretty good about where we're at right now. And now going into a game that at the beginning of the year we all had circled on our calendar at South Carolina, because South Carolina coming into the season, everyone thought that they were going to be a top 10 to 15 type of team. I think they were ranked 13th in the first week of the AP poll, but things have not gone well for South Carolina. I did predict a drop off for South Carolina this season. In the preseason, I had them going 7-5 when most people had them going at least 9-3, but they might actually be worse than that. Only time will tell how the rest of the season goes, but it's weird how Shane Beamer has a good season followed by a bad season. He's done this pretty consistently now. So it's interesting there. I still think Sellers is a really, really good quarterback. We cannot overlook this game. I know people get sick of me saying that when Alabama or Indiana, for that matter, or any other team that I like and talk about, is playing a team that is not that good, but you can't take any team for granted. Yeah, Oklahoma just went and beat South Carolina by 3 touchdowns, but the thing is, teams give Alabama their best shot. I expect South Carolina to be hungry in this game to try to do anything to save their season. They got a lot of problems. Roster-wise, they got a lot of problems. But I think it's going to be a good game still. Definitely do not overlook this team. I'm excited to get into the ins and outs of this game, especially with our guest, Lucas Hill, tonight. I'm excited.
Oh, man.
But definitely, just kind of want to get that out of the way, because I know a lot of people are going to be like, hey, it's going to be a blowout. Don't think that way. Even if it does end up being a blowout, just don't think that way.
Yeah, South Carolina could be catching us napping a little bit. They could be trying to catch
it's a classic little trap game, coming off the 4 big wins. We're on an emotional high, about as high as you can get after that Florida State loss. I mean, we've completely flipped the script. We've even got some people saying Alabama might be the best team in the country now, which, again, is wild that that's the case after our week 1 performance. I mean, literally the top 3 in most people's minds right now, and it's reflective of the Heisman race: Ohio State, Indiana, Alabama. Ty Simpson, Julian Sayin, Fernando Mendoza. I mean, it's basically becoming a 3-way race. So I don't know. It's crazy how things have flipped, because Alabama looked dead in the water after Florida State. We've turned it around. Indiana's having a great year. It's wild how things are shaking out this season. So, but Alabama, we're on a high. Just can't get too high or too low. You got to stay focused on the ultimate prize.
Focus on the prize that's right in front of you. And of course, Halloween season is near. No, there's no Great Pumpkin, but Halloween season is coming.
Maybe next year.
There you go. Thanksgiving is coming. Christmas is coming. You know, you have to dress up for something nice for the holidays, but we got a little something in store for you. The the Voice College Football Alabama hats, the T-shirts, the heavyweight T-shirt. That sweatshirt's going to look nice this Christmas season, this Thanksgiving, and this Halloween season. That polo shirt, okay, it's going to keep that guy warm, but I don't think that's going to keep us warm at this time of year. But, polo shirts, I mean, that's nice. But the game day bug, the tumbler cup, and the can cooler, we've got it all right here. Don't like the, here we go. Nah, that's better. That's a better color. Yeah, that's Georgia's color we took. I like the old crimson. What do you think, Jeffrey?
Yeah, we don't want to be misrepresented with Georgia. We're a different program.
Nah, but I will say the merch store is all right here. We've got Crimson Tide merch on Alabama with the Voice of College Football and the Voice of College Football Network.
You can wear the sweater on New Year's too. You can't forget about New Year's. That's another holiday that matters,
Oh yeah. I mean, some people are going New Year's Eve parties, but it's like I might go there. But if they've got big screen TV for NFL football or college football. Then I'll be like, okay,
Only if.
only if. Yep, there you go. I mean, but you never know. All right, he is the guest of honor. He is the man of the hour, the one and only himself, the host of Inside the Huddle at South Carolina, the Boys College Football. Lucas Hill, how you doing tonight, good buddy? And he also does Final Whistle on SEC at the Voice College Football.
And he is surrounded by a lot of great cars because I'm hearing a lot of exhaust.
Oh yeah, it makes his hair fly, man. That's for sure.
I had to move seats. It was ridiculous where I was sitting at this point in time. But guys, thank you guys so much for having me. We went 6-3 last week with my best bets of the week. Always powered by our good friends at Underdog Fantasy. Promo code VOCFBSC. Not a plug there. Got to be 21 or older, by the way. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. But, hey, 6-3 last week. We're happy to get a little bit of money, get a little bit paid. But, obviously, South Carolina is not getting paid at this point in time of the season.
They shouldn't. But I like them a little more than that other SC team because South Carolina has respect for their rivalries than that other SC team. But that's enough my tirade. Oh man. But I've been thinking about this game, and South Carolina's just not been having a really good season, obviously. And Jeffrey stated earlier tonight, he had them at 7-5, but this is lower than he thought. Like, good grief, like 3-4. I mean, the fat dude from Cohan Luke is sitting there going, what we've got here is a failure to communicate. That's coming. Like, good grief. But it's just been a disaster. Yeah. So let's get to the position battles for both these teams. What do we need to look out for from both these teams exactly?
Well, if you were to tell me in the preseason, I would say, okay, maybe front seven going up against a Joe Moore winning offensive line that Alabama has. But at this point in time, your front seven has been getting pushed around in run support. You've been giving up explosive plays on the ground. You cannot get off the field on third down to save your life. But the one consistent thing that I've seen from South Carolina all year long is your secondary. And you've got guys in there that are going to be first-round grade talents. Guys like DQ Smith, the Kilgore brothers, Jalen and Gerald, both of which have been playing at a high level. Jalen was a all-SEC performer last year, on his way to another one there. Could be a top 50 pick this upcoming season. I'm excited to potentially see him at the Senior Bowl, something I'll be going to in a couple of months. But that's really your only real position battle that you should be looking out for, is that DB receiver matchup between probably one of the more consistent secondaries in the SEC going up against what Alabama has at their receiving core. So, look, there's a lot to look forward to as a whole when it comes to the secondary. You would expect more from your defense as a whole after getting pushed around in the run game. Yes, last week against Oklahoma, and even a couple weeks ago against Missouri when you gave up 230 rushing yards. My only thing is that, can you get consistent? Clayton White's been struggling with that during his tenure here in South Carolina. And unfortunately, that may lead to some uncomfortable conversations that you may have to have further down the road.
Oof, good grief. Like there's definitely some coaching staff changes to discuss in the offseason. I'm excited to see what our receiving core can do once again. And, I know that our running game has been weak. I mean, the stats don't look good for our running game, but we've made more progress than we have in the past few weeks. And Jam Miller looked all right last Saturday. And I think they can get through that South Carolina D line for sure.
Yeah, look, like I mentioned, you've been getting pushed around a lot. One of the things I've noticed when I watch them on tape is when you have reach blocks. That's whenever you'll see Cole Kulick or another analyst that'll get on the board and they'll draw like just slants across the line of scrimmage. You'll have all 5 offensive linemen that'll be moving to your right, and your back is going to try to follow them behind. That's what you've seen a lot. And when you get reached like that on a defensive line, you allow for more space to be allowed for your outside back to get to the boundary. That allows for your tackle or your tight end that's helping you out in reach blocks to climb up to that second level, take out a safety, take out a corner, maybe take out a back that's trying to get around and try to scrape across to try and get into the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, like I was just looking at the stats just now. It's not been good for South Carolina on defense on third down.
No.
116th in the nation. And Alabama is ranked 19th on offense when they're on third down situations. Ugh, that is a yikes right there.
Yeah. I mean, that's essentially where you are at this point in time as a defense. You're not consistent. You are not physical up front. And that's just the bottom line. You're a soft program up front. Pass pro has been inconsistent. Run stopping has been abysmal. You haven't been able to tackle in space going into SEC play. And I would expect the same to continue because this is who South Carolina's identity is at this point in time. You would hope things would turn around knowing that you're at home going up against Alabama, but after what you guys have put up on offense the last couple of weeks of the season, my opportunities and my hope for this team is just slowly decreasing as we speak.
Yeah, the way I look at it when it comes to Alabama, we have 2 weaknesses, and Jackson already mentioned one of them, and one of them is our run offense. Our run offense is not that great. We have not been consistent on the ground. Jam Miller's return has aided in our running game a lot because he's by far our best running back, which I've had a lot of people disagree with me on that. Oh, we've got other talented running backs. I mean, they've come in and they haven't done much. I like Riley. I think Kevin Riley's got potential and stuff, but he's not, like your traditional back right now, like
Right.
Dan Miller. Richard Young and Daniel Hill have not been great. Daniel Hill's been decent in short yardage situations, but Jam Miller is the all-around back. He's the guy that can get something out of nothing most times when Alabama's O-line isn't doing the best. So run offense, and that kind of directly goes with our offensive line. Our worst part of our entire team is run defense. Our run defense sucks.
Yeah.
Like it's frankly just terrible.
We let Bishop run for a long touchdown against.
If we want to be a national championship contender this season, we have to get better at run defense. It's not going to be possible if we're just letting teams gash us. Like if we play Notre Dame in the playoffs, if Notre Dame makes the playoffs, you're done because Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price just eat us up. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like we're letting teams that don't even run the ball that well run the ball well. That would have never happened 5 years ago. We're not the same team on defense in that department. Our secondary is pretty good. Like we're getting interceptions. We're doing well on the back end pretty much, but run defense is problematic. So it's just ironic that 2 of Alabama's staples, which we've always been known to run the ball, we've always been known to stop the run. I mean, I'll never forget when Leonard Fournette only had 14 yards against us like 10 years ago. I mean, that's how good we were. Now we're letting teams with average running backs gash us. Not saying Bishop isn't good, but just guys that are not thought of to be, top of the line backs in college football, they're eating us alive. The thing is with South Carolina is that they've been inconsistent in every single game this season, almost inconsistent to poor. So, to me, the only chance South Carolina has to win this game is one of 2 things. Either, number one, Alabama just doesn't show up at all because, we've won our last 4 games against ranked teams. We're doing great. We're fine. Because we did that last year. We lost to unranked opponents last season, teams that were not a worse Vanderbilt team last year. Oklahoma was not good last year. We can't overlook this team. And then number 2, if South Carolina treats Alabama like it's the Super Bowl, save the season type of game, I don't know if South Carolina has that in them or not.
No.
I think, any team's capable of it. But, we cannot overlook South Carolina, and South Carolina's got to play really hard and well to win. Because last week, they showed no life last week. Oklahoma wasn't even that great in that game. South Carolina had nothing going on. I think, ironically, what's the most interesting thing about South Carolina is the fact that Lenora Sellers, with the injury and not the best stats in the world, is still somehow considered a first-round draft pick quarterback. I understand why, because of the physical attributes and the talent, the raw talent. But like Lagway, his stock is tanked, and Sellers is still
Lagway's
keeping his stock. It's still up there. He hasn't really been affected by the season.
Well,
And I think part of that too is because of bad play calling and what they're around. DJ Lagway's around a guy and Rob Sale. Well, really, it's Billy Napier that's calling the plays that has not put him in a good position. It's the same thing with Lenora Sellers. You get lazy in the offseason and you hire a guy from within, which rarely ever works. Go ask LSU what they're doing with Joe Sloan, who they hired from within after Mike Denbrock left for
Lucas,
Notre Dame.
I couldn't hear that last part. Ellis who?
You funny. You're
Yeah,
funny.
I'm screwing with you.
That's funny. But no, you look at when is hiring from within ever work? It's very rare that it ever does. And that's the consequence of what you're seeing with these top tier SEC quarterbacks who you've had in the preseason. They get all this hype, and then when the season starts, they fall flat on their face. I put out my preseason rankings in July. I had my top three as Garrett Nussmeier, Lenore Sellers, and DJ Lagway, all three of which have fallen flat on their face.
I had Sellers and Lagway very high. Lagway I had number 1. I think Sellers top 4. I had Nussmeier nowhere near the top, but I had the other two high. So I'm with you, and I was wrong.
Oh man, but it'll be interesting to see how Lenora Sellers will handle that Bama defense. But I got a good feeling that Bama defense is going to be prepared for him. But
Right.
if Sellers can have a good run game against that Bama defense, he'll be good to go.
The problem is you have to get him the football, and that's something you've not done all season long. I haven't seen designed runs from Sellers as much as you would have wanted to see. I haven't seen him take deep shots down the field like we saw during the second half of last year. And I hear Beamer going into pressers and saying, oh, this happened last year. Oh, we were 3-3 at this time last year, and look at where we end up. Oh, we were this. Everybody wanted to blame the offensive coordinator last year, and look at what happened. God, dude, shut up. This ain't last year. This is a completely different personnel with a lot of different moving pieces. You had nothing but super seniors last year. And look at what has happened this season with a brand new nucleus of offensive linemen, with a brand new nucleus of interior defensive linemen, specifically a new core of linebackers, a new core of receivers that has a lot of hype, but yet they're not getting the football because they're being held back by their offensive play calling. You go in that first drive of the game. If you guys go back and look at that, it's 1st and goal from the 9, and you run the same damn play 3 times in a row. How much creativity can you get in an offense?
None. Zero.
Yeah, that's not
Zero.
good at all. I mean, the thing is, the only defensible thing you can say is, oh, well, every single loss South Carolina has in the SEC is to rank teams, and they're good. That's the SEC, though. That's just the SEC. You got to deal with it.
I
Auburn's
think
dealing
that's
with
a
it. South
bad
Carolina's
move to
dealing
be
with it.
bragging about who you lost to.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Some team's going to lose. You're in a 16-team league.
Yes.
With a lot of good teams. Probably 10 of them are at least decent to good. And the bottom 6 are, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Arkansas, South Carolina, Auburn. All those teams are, they have moments. They're not horrible. Kentucky's pretty bad. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say, though. They have talent. They have guys that are going to be in the NFL. They have the potential to knock somebody off.
Right.
Again, last season, Oklahoma beat us when they weren't good. Vanderbilt beat us when they weren't as good. It happens. South Carolina can knock off a good team if they get it together. It's just they haven't shown up. It's not the fact that they're really losing these games. They're just not really competitive in them at all. Missouri was the best loss, but Vandy, they were horrible. Oklahoma, I watched some of that game. They were terrible in that game.
Oh,
Like, the
John
fans were
Mateer
booing in the first
punted.
half. Like, I know SEC fans boo. They're just it's in their nature to boo if they're not winning. Every fan base does it in the SEC. But, like, if you're booing your team off the field in the first half, that's a bad look. And it's like South Carolina is not even trying. Like, oh, it's like 3rd and 20 back there, and then they have Sellers throwing like a 2-yard pass. It's just that's not going to make fans happy. You know, the lack of creativity is astounding on South Carolina's offense, especially considering that last year, yeah, they started 3-3. But they looked better last year. Like when they lost to LSU last year, no one was upset outside of being mad at the refs, right? Like, oh, wow, that was a good game, and South Carolina competed and looked good. This season they play LSU, and it's just a boring game where both teams look like trash. That's the difference.
And you know what's even worse about that? LSU gifted them opportunities to score, and you couldn't do anything about it. You had 3 points off of 16 opportunities that you had on the opposite side of the 50. That is that takes people completely over the edge. What took me over the edge last week against Oklahoma, which I'm sure a lot of fans said that was the final straw if they had already had their final straw several weeks ago with Shula, was I think it might have been I want to say the last drive just before second to last drive before they finally scored. It was almost deja vu from the first drive of the game. They ran draw from the 2-yard line 3 consecutive times. How many times did guess how many times Lenore Sellers touched the football? Take a guess. Once on 4th down. And guess what? That score, when I look back at it, there was a false start penalty that should have gotten called on Josiah Thompson. So they got lucky on that one. They had lacked zero creativity. And the only good drive of every game that South Carolina has had is the scripted first drive, where you march right down the field and you put points on the board. The only difference is you couldn't convert in the red zone. This is who you have been as an offense. This is what you will continue to be until you make a change. The thing about and you were comparing last year, Jeffrey, Dowell Loggins let Lenore Sellers be Lenore Sellers. That's the big difference from last year to this year. Mike Shula wants to make him into a pro-style passer. The game is already past that. You have quarterbacks that are athletes now. You have guys like Cam that really revolutionize where quarterbacks are at this point in the day, at this point in time. You see guys like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, all 3 of which are mobile on their feet. I don't think that Lenoris is doing that because of bad play calling and what is being driven into his head as a playground. Remember, this kid was offered $6-7 million, no pun intended, to leave South Carolina to go to another school. Guess who made that decision, by the way, for him to stay? His father. So, in my opinion, he should have taken the money and gone to another offense. If we'd have known what the results were going to be from this year, now his draft stock's tanked, and now people aren't going to take a chance on him because of what you've seen in this offense. You see the highs. You saw what he did in the second half of last year. You see the athleticism. You see the frame that he has. But are people going to take a chance on the kid? I don't know. I would like to see him still be a top 50 pick, but that's up to NFL draft scouts. I'm getting there. I still think that he could be a first-round pick when it's all said and done. But he's got to stay in college one more year. I don't think he's ready yet to take the next step into the NFL.
Absolutely. And my thing is that I know why we have draft analysts. I know why they get paid to tell people where guys are and stuff. But at the same time, it sucks so badly when like 99% of college football fans know that a guy should come back. But then draft analysts rate a guy very highly because of the potential or, the name or something, right? And then they go pro. I mean, like some people's careers just get destroyed from that. I mean, Anthony Richardson was not the 4th pick of the draft. He was not.
Yeah.
Everyone on planet Earth knew that. He couldn't throw the football, right?
But you saw
in the NFL. He hasn't done anything in the NFL.
No.
Like if Sellers goes right now when he's not ready because of what's happening to him, as you described, Lucas, and he's probably not going to have a good career in the NFL. If Arch Manning tries to go pro, yeah, okay.
He's not.
He's not.
I
But
can promise you he's not.
Some people are still trying to rate him highly. I completely trashed that the other day on one of
Those
my shows.
people that think that's the case, those people that think that that's the case are news anchors for local media outlets. They're not studying him.
Yeah.
He has had a terrible season. He could be good eventually, but he's had a terrible season.
Part of that, too, Jeff, has been part of that offensive line that took a step back this year. But even so, you give him a year to regroup, get a good offensive line through the portal. We'll see what he does. He needs another year in the Sark system to really develop in an offense.
Well, we have definitely got into the Arch Manning rabbit hole for sure. But
I mean, it's just it compares to all these players, though. I mean, Sellers like last season was great and flashed so much potential and talent and all that. And then this year, I mean, the stats aren't there, the injury. I mean, again, there's only so much you can blame a guy when your offense looks that bad. It's just the way that it is. But I mean, again, obviously people are seeing something because everybody still has Sellers high up. I mean, I think a lot of people are giving him the benefit of the doubt. They realize
I think they're listening too much to Mel Kiper, which I mean, I don't even know.
Mel Kiper's a freaking clown.
I know, right? He's an idiot. He's an imbecile. He just.
I remember when people tried to say Will Levis was a first-round draft pick. I was like, Will Levis is not a first-round draft pick. I said Will Levis shouldn't have been drafted in the first 3 or 4 rounds. And people are like, Jeffrey, you don't know what you're talking about. Will Levis was not a second-round draft pick. Sometimes you just have to realize that a guy's not that good. Sometimes you just have to do that. Sometimes you just got to admit that,
Yes.
That is true.
Just because he's 6'5", 235, and I'm not, does not mean that I can't tell you that he's not that good. The Mayo's cool, but it's not going to get you wins on the football field.
No.
It's just not. The
I can
Mayo and the
attest
coffee
to that
or
as a
whatever. I still
Titans
can't believe
man.
that.
But in the meantime, we'll be going over the players to watch for. But first, I got made some money to get some top-notch Halloween candy.
Oh, Lord.
But the best way to do it is to get some top-notch college football predictions.
Really?
I know a guy.
I love when Jackson cuts me off for the promo. I love it. I just was like, we're done. It's over. No more Mayo in the coffee.
There is nobody that does promos like Jackson.
He's amazing with the promos.
Just one question I have to ask both of you. Lucas, Jeffrey, do you know a guy?
I know a guy.
Probably do.
It's the doppelganger.
Yep, it's the doppelganger of Mark Rogers.
Oh, God.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
This is how you make 2025 a winner for those just tuning in. Go to Mark Rogers for some top-notch predictions. Get that under-the-radar pick of the week from Steve Merrill. Get those top-notch picks from Steve Dace from the Michigan Podcast and Blaze TV's The Steve Dace Show. And Matt Zemek giving his top-notch picks from Trojans Wire, USC Primetime Live, and College Wire from USA Today. And Corey Bratta bringing that Iowa magic from the Hawkeye of the Storm and Iowa at the Voice of College Football. Well, gentlemen, we got some players to watch for Alabama, South Carolina. Who do we need to watch out for from the offense and the defense from a South Carolina perspective? Let's go to you, Luke.
You better get ready because
I'm ready.
there's not a lot, but there is a couple that you really need to look out for. Obviously, 3 that I think people are gonna really kind of pay attention to, and one that could be my X factor of the game. Number 1, the obvious, Lenore Sellers. I mean, come on, 6 foot, 3 or 4, 240-pound athlete, a specimen that a lot of people love, and a lot of people, draft analysts and scouts, fawn over, and rightfully so. People love the way that this kid plays. You'd like to see him get more opportunities to run the football individually, design quarterback runs, zones, options, different little wrinkles in the South Carolina offense that has shown no creativity at all. And I know we're going to sound like a broken record saying this, but that's just the truth. That's obviously one. Number 2, your leading receiver of the year, Dre Jacobs. He's number 14, or excuse me, number 19, actually. He's a guy that I think can line up just about anywhere. You can line him up on the outside, put him in the slot, can get yards after catch, and can work up the field and be a deep play threat for Lenore's to go to. I know they've taken a couple shots down the field and have gotten him a couple times. They've got him against in the Missouri game. They got him involved in the Vanderbilt game a couple of times. But the problem is that he's just got to be healthy. I know that this is a receiving core that has not really always been the healthiest group, but hopefully this Saturday changes that. Nick Harbor, number 8, the biggest freaking nature in college football. 6'4", 235 pounds, and runs a 4.3 40. I mean, just an incredible athlete. The problem is that you've gone away from him at times. The first 2 plays of the game, he touches the football and gets you big plays. He goes on a pop pass and gets you a first down, and then he goes on a slant route, or excuse me, a comeback route, and gets you positive yardage. After that, hardly saw much of him throughout the football game, but you would like to see him get more involved. You would like to see him get more touches, take more shots down the field, and get it out to him. You know, I mean, it's frustrating if you're a South Carolina fan because you have arguably the best player on the field right now in Nick Harbor, and he's not getting the football. He's not getting touches. 4 catches for 22 yards and a touchdown last week against Oklahoma. 2 of them came on the first play of the game. You've got to get him the football a lot more. And I know that they're trying to go with the screen game as an extension of the run game for a rushing team that is 122nd in college football in rushing offense. But you've got to get more creativity. You've got to get more creative than that. And then my X factor for this game, it's a name that I think a lot of people may not know. When you look at the running back room, there's not a whole lot of production. Everybody was expecting big things from Roswell Faison, and it's kind of been underwhelming. Remember, this was the guy that had to go through the NCAA eligibility, all the BS that he had to deal with in the offseason. And so far, he's just not putting together consistent games. One game that he'll have 74 yards rushing and go for a touchdown and look really good. And then the next game, he'll have 6 or 7 or 8 carries and go and average like 2 or 3 yards a carry. I mean, you can't have that going into games. Now, the last 2 games, he's been better. 23 carries combined for over 120 yards, averaging almost 6 yards a carry, which has been okay, but you would like to have more. Matthew Fuller is my X factor, though. He needs to be getting the majority of the carries. Broke off a big 73-yarder a couple weeks ago against LSU. You would like to see him get the football a lot more. I don't want him going on dives. I can't have him carry the football 5 times at this point in the season. The running back rotation has been abysmal. You have got to find your feature back, and you've got to stick with him. Give him 15 to 20 carries and let him work. That's been the number one problem that South Carolina has had, is that their running back rotation has been bad. And that's why you have not had a whole lot of success running the football. Number 1 is because you're going into inside zone behind an interior offensive line that has been horrible. Number 2, it's been because you have failed to go to the outside whenever you've had lanes to run through.
No doubt. I mean, I've been curious a little bit about the running game from South Carolina because, I mean, Yeah, because again, I've looked at the stats. Terrible. 121st in the nation. But the best part about being down is the way to go is up. That's the line for everybody. That is the lesson of the night for everyone.
Never mind. Dre Jacobs is number 4. I'm sorry.
It's all good. But, I keep thinking about how LT Overton will put a stop to Lenora Sellers and friends.
That's easy. You can just walk your center into the backfield.
Yeah.
Because LT Overton's one of the best interior rushers in the SEC.
Oh, yeah. I'm just hoping that James Smith doesn't do anything like stupid again, like he did last week against Tennessee and Georgia.
He got ejected again, or did he have an unsportsmanlike?
It was another unsportsmanlike.
Oh,
I believe.
God.
I know.
He's such a good defensive tackle, but he gets in his head, and then he reacts on emotion.
Ugh.
That's what's so frustrating, because I really like the way he plays. The problem is that he lets his emotions get the best of him, and it's going to cost Bama a game eventually.
There's nothing wrong with playing emotional, but you can't let your emotions overtake your game. It's
Right.
a fine line. Like if you're fired up and you're being that leader, and all that, you're like barking orders, like, hey, stay in that position. Like that's the play call or something like that. That's fine. Like, and being vocal and emotional, all that stuff. But yeah, it is frustrating because when it's a recurring theme. It's kind of like how with South Carolina having a good season, bad season, good season, bad season under Beamer. It's frustrating. It gets old. And when you have a player for Alabama on defense as talented as Smith is, and he just does stuff like that, it's very frustrating. Some of my players to watch, though, in the game for on the Alabama side, I mean, again, as you said with Sellers, it's Ty Simpson. I mean, Ty Simpson's got to be sharp. He's been sharp since the Florida State game. He's been basically flawless in every game since then. He had one interception all season, and thankfully it didn't cost us at all. So, you look at him at Georgia. He was composed against Georgia. He was composed at Missouri. So, like, we've played tough road games, and he's been fine. So, it's like South Carolina. We know they got a good atmosphere. The rooster that calls during the game, all that kind of stuff can be distracting for people. Not as bad as the cowbells giving you an aneurysm, but it's still it's tough atmosphere, tough environment. But I think Ty Simpson has proven that he can win in those type of environments, and he's got to be flawless again. He's got to have another great game. No drop-offs there, especially since our run game is not doing that great. Again, Jam Miller's our best bat, but he's only averaging 4 yards a carry. I think part of it's just that our offense is flawed in that department, but definitely Ty Simpson. Our receivers, I don't even want to single out any of our receivers. I mean, at this point, it's just a receiver tandem. All of our receivers are a problem for other teams. Horton, Bernard, Williams. I mean, those three in and of itself. But then you've got Lotzier Brooks doing well. You've got other guys, Rico Scott stepping up. I mean, we've got so many good receivers. It's just, it's insane. Cole Adams factors in the return game at receiver. Like the last three guys I said, most people probably don't even pay attention to. They don't even look at them that much if you're not an Alabama fan. But, like, they're good. But our entire receiving core is going to be a problem, all of them. And then on defense, I mean, definitely LT Overton. He's a really, really good defensive player. I know a lot of people have been mad at James Smith, but if he does not do stupid stuff, then he is a really quality player. I like Dejon Lee, too. That guy's been insane. Dejon Lee picking balls off left and right.
Yeah.
And when he's not picking balls off, he's just a tough cover. And we've also talked about guys like, Bray Hubbard, too. I mean, I really don't like, pointing out specific players on our defense because I feel like we have great defensive players at every position. It's just more about schematics. Kane Womack is a very
bat.
He's a little, I'm not saying gimmicky, but the way that he calls defense, I remember when he was at Indiana, it was just a lot of blitz. It was a lot of blitz, a lot of pressures. And again, that it works. I mean, but we get interceptions all the time because we're blitzing, but then you're susceptible to giving up big plays on the ground. And that's what we've been doing. It's not that our defensive players aren't good. It's just the fact that the way that we the way that our defense is schemed up, it is susceptible to run defense. The gaps, they're just there for the other team. So we got good defensive players all across the board, but we're just going to keep giving up big plays on the ground until we either change the defense or tighten things up or whatever.
Oh yeah, and we hope to see more big plays from Xavier Brown, which I got a feeling we will. I mean, oh man, like the name from the Cleveland Guardians is drawing a blank, but he made Sean McDonough the puberty voice in Game 2 of the AL wild card, and Xavier Brown did that Saturday night. I was like, "Yep, I've earned a victory cigar." Oh man, I think we all earned it that night. And Josh Clutch Cuevas from Benjamin. All right. Yeah. I mean,
He's a good player, too. He definitely has a lot of clutch catches this season. I mean, very underrated player.
For sure. And we want to make sure we give a thank you to William Morris, $13.93, for the $5 super chat contribution to the 59th edition of Alabama The Voice College Football. We thank you so much for the contribution in the super chats. And for those tuning in to Alabama The Voice College Football, if you can't be able to contribute in super chats or in super stickers or in becoming a YouTube membership, don't worry about it. That's okay. All you have to do is like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss another video or another episode of Alabama Crimson Tide Live whatsoever. And let me tell you something, you're always going to be in for a wild ride Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays after every ball game, all right here on Alabama The Voice College Football.
Was it Jose Ramirez that had that home run?
No.
I'm trying to think of who it was.
It was a Carl. I think it was a Carlos.
Carlos Santana?
No.
No. Carlos Santana's with the Cubs now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Let me see.
Okay.
It's Brian Rizocchio. There.
I cannot help you guys in this conversation at all.
Yeah. I remember Madonna was going Brian Rizocchio. Yep. Like that's a winner. Like you made my birth week, Mr. Rizocchio. Thank you,
Fellas. Guys, I got to ask you this because this tweet kind of went viral whenever I posted it. What are we thinking about our boy John Gruden headed back to the SEC?
John Gruden has been floated for like every job.
He looked unhappy to be there.
He's been floated at like every job.
I love AI, and what is so scary about it is that the logo is really, really good.
He looks pretty mad about being in Columbia.
I like AI when you can tell if it's not real. If we get to the point where you can't tell, it's they're gonna have like systems in place or whatever where you can, I guess, detect if it's fake or not. But for just people looking at it, you'll get fooled by it.
Right.
That's what sucks. I don't want people to get fooled by being like that's real, and it's like it's not. But yeah, the John Gruden stuff, man. He can go to Florida, he can go to South Carolina, he can go anywhere. Yeah, it cracks me. I remember when people were saying he was going to go to Indiana for a minute there. I was like, what? He's not going to Indiana before they got Cignetti. I was like, that's not happening. But yeah, he's just a candidate for every job.
I think he's happy doing Barstool Sports and
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Have you seen the amount of fun that he's been having on there? But the only real SEC experience that Gruden even has is that he was a GA at Tennessee. and his last college experience was with Pittsburgh as your wide receivers coach.
Good.
So, and this is 1991 that he had this. But I mean, I would like to see him have a return to college football. I'd like to see him return to the game of football in general. I think it would be really interesting to see, but I don't know if he would be willing to do that, knowing the type of money that he's getting paid at Barstool, because they are paying him fine.
Urban Meyer and John Gruden should just keep doing what they're doing.
Urban doesn't need to go back into the college game. There's too much politics involved with that.
Why would he go to Penn State? Like people are like, oh, he's going to go to Penn State. He's not going.
That's bull crap. That's
not happening. Penn State's not. They weren't ever getting Cignetti. They're not going to get Urban Meyer. I mean, Penn State should not have fired James Franklin when they did. It's a whole other conversation. I've made my thoughts very apparent on that. They should not have fired James Franklin when they did.
Note to self, we'll have to see if Mark will host a voice college football debate as to whether James Franklin getting fired was a good idea or not. And I think I've got a good idea on who we'd have representing the good idea and who would be representing the bad idea. And let me tell you, I think that would be a fun discussion. You would represent the bad idea. I think TJ would represent the good idea, but I have to double check and see for
You
sure.
can find plenty of people for the good idea. Any Penn State fan.
Whether or not it was a good idea or not, that took some real balls for Penn State to even do the buyout and to fire him like that. The cat's going to get paid very, very well over the next 5-6 years that he's getting paid. He's
getting paid like $15 a minute. I read somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Every minute that he breathes and is alive, he's getting paid $15.
That's incredible that he's even getting. I've heard somebody say that he was getting like $1 a second or like 44 cents a second or something like that. I thought it was so weird just seeing that. But I mean, that's where you are right now with this buyout. Now my question is, where does Penn State go? I don't know if you're going to stick around. I don't know if you want to recruit a coach from the SEC to go do it. I don't know if Lane is going to go. I'm sure Lane would take an interview, but I don't think he would accept the head coaching job there. I think
Lane's going to go anywhere. It's Florida, but
I don't know. I don't know because that's been floating around for a very long time. It's been floating around since the first year of the Hugh Freeze era that he's going to go to Auburn. No, the hell he's not. He's going to stay in Ole Miss because he doesn't want to go deal with the politics that are at Auburn. He doesn't want to go deal with the fan base that's there and the administration that's there because it's a dumpster fire.
Good grief.
Yeah, if Lane Kiffin, of any job that's available right now, it would be Florida that he would maybe consider, but I would stay at Ole Miss. I've been a vast proponent of that too. Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, to me, is a perfect fit. It works. If he never wins a title there, he never wins a title there. It does not matter. They've got a ceiling maybe, but they win games, and the fan base is happy with him, and he's not going to get left on the tarmac and all that. It just don't go to Florida. Don't go to Penn State. Why would you go to Florida? Right. I mean, to me, though, Florida makes more sense for Kiffin than Penn State. He would not go to Penn State. Florida, maybe, but it's not happening to me. If Kiffin's smart, I would advise him to stay at Ole Miss. That's my opinion. And even Ole Miss has already said they're trying to drop a massive contract for him. I mean, they've upped their NIL, too. I mean, Ole Miss is a lot more competitive in that department than they used to be.
Booster money is flowing through Oxford. Because that is a very, very rich college town to have NIL money. That's you. If you're a head coach there, that's a dream job that you can have because you have so much booster money coming in. You have so much money that's going to be flowing through these businesses that donate to your program because they want to see national championships, which I think Ole Miss is going to be in the running for. But are they in for a trip back down to earth? Blew it last week against Georgia. Now you look at the rest of the schedule for them. They get Oklahoma this week. They still have to play Florida and Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl, which, by the way, Mississippi State still running out of chances to get to a bowl game. But let's continue.
Oh, yeah. But let's go back to earth for a little bit and discuss the keys to victory for Alabama, South Carolina. As we wonder what's going to happen. Me personally, I'm thinking you got to make sure your run defense looking good, making sure your run game's looking good on offense. That's definitely a key to victory for both teams right there. And, of course, make sure that you just keep doing what you're doing. And that is Ty Simpson having some good games, throwing to all his guys, making sure Williams gets the ball, Cuevas gets the ball, Horton hearing the Tide. He's got to make sure he's got those ears hearing for Simpson. And we got to make sure Bernard's ready and Lottie Brooks. I want to make sure Lottie Brooks is ready for sure.
You know, on the opposite side for South Carolina, you have got to cross the 300-yard threshold. I don't think you've crossed it yet all season long. That's embarrassing. knowing that you're going into a season where you have a lot of talent on offense. Actually, I don't think they've crossed the 350 threshold. They crossed the 300-yard threshold a couple of times, but you have got to get off the field on third down. You allowed for Oklahoma 2nd and 20. You have a Torrey Blaylock 18-yard run that sets up 3rd and short. You got to force the issue on 1st and 2nd down to make 3rd down pretty much your money down, so you don't have to really pin your ears back, but you can get after a quarterback like Ty Simpson. Number 2, you have got to establish the line of scrimmage for once in your life. This is a good opportunity for you to finally get Lenore Sellers involved in the run game. Like we mentioned, this is the 84th ranked rush defense in the nation. This is an opportunity for you to pop one off. This is an opportunity for you to get 16 involved in the option game. This is an opportunity for you to get involved in design quarterback runs. Get creative with the damn offense. Use your pop passes, your reverses, whatever, as an extension of the run game. Get Nick Harbor back involved like you did on the first series. He does not need his final stat to be 4 catches, 22 yards. This cat needs to have at least 6 or 7 catches for 50, 60, 70 yards. He's got to be touching the football a lot. It's ridiculous that he's not carrying the football as much as you would like to see. Take more shots down the field. That's what I want to see from South Carolina from here on out. Take a shot down the field. If you get a one-on-one matchup in man coverage where you got a guy you have a height mismatch, signal to him. Hey, dude, go, go, go. Set up, shotgun, boom. Throw it down the sideline. That's what you have to do.
Yeah. It's what you have to, no doubt about it.
Alabama's doing it. Why the hell can't you? That's been your number one thing that has pissed me off, is that you refuse to take a shot down the field and you refuse to have an extension of the run game. You run draws on 2nd and 3rd down from the 9-yard line. How stupid are you? Great play calling, Mike. And here's the thing. Mike Shula's not going to get fired until the end of the season because of his buyout, and you've already fired your offensive line coach from last week. So what are you going to do from there? It's only going to decrease where your 26 class is at right now, and it's going to hurt you even more. Your offensive staff needs a complete overhaul at this point in time. But regardless of that, you have got to be able to, number 1, take a shot down the field, and number 2, you've got to be able to create extensions of the run game, like getting Nick Harbor involved, getting guys like Dre Jacobs on reverses, getting your outside zone. Lenore's has to carry the damn ball. Let him work. And he needs to stop making stupid freaking decisions, trying to play hero ball like he's Caleb Williams, trying to scramble outside the pocket and try to make something out of nothing. And he runs out of bounds for a loss of 4 instead of throwing the football out of bounds so that you're back at the line of scrimmage.
Well, and I know one other key to the game for Alabama is to make sure you stop that run game. You do that, you're good to go.
My keys to the game is definitely, as you said, Jackson, we got to stop the run. We got to just get better at stopping the run. We're not going to stop the run. I just do not think that the way that Kane Womack calls defense schemes it up, the way our players' mentality is, just all that we're going to become an elite run defensive team overnight. I don't see it happening, but if we could just get better at it, stop giving up the home run. Instead of giving up 30 yards on a run every now and then, just keep it contained to 7-8 yards. Don't let them burn us up on that side of the ball, on the opposing run offense for the other team. That's key number 1. Key number 2, our offense just needs to hum. Just do what it's been doing. If we put up a lot of points, South Carolina's not going to keep up no matter what our defense does. If we put up 40 points, South Carolina will not match that most likely with the way that they are calling it on the offensive side of the ball. So definitely our offense just needs to keep doing what it's been doing.
My bad, y'all. My freaking phone died on me.
Oh, you're good, Lucas. No problem.
Oh, no worries. I think running games scared the phone a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it definitely did. Our offense just needs to hum, needs to keep doing what it's doing. We need to get the ball to all of our receivers. Ty Simpson just have a great game. Our run defense just not get gashed by South Carolina's offense too much. And the main key for Alabama is not to overlook. Just do not overlook South Carolina. We've done this last year. We've been on the road against vastly inferior teams, and we've lost. DeBoer this season has done a fantastic job winning these 4 ranked games. But who was our only loss to this season? Florida State, a team that was not that good. Granted, it was week 1. I still think that's a little different. That's a little more excusable because it was a week 1 game, Simpson's first start. But I just go back to last year and our losses last year outside of the Tennessee one, the Vandy, Oklahoma, and even Michigan losses. None of those teams were that good. We didn't even show up in the bowl game. But the Oklahoma and the Vandy losses, this is a type of game like that. South Carolina's not playing well. They're not having a good season. We cannot overlook South Carolina. We cannot treat them like, hey, they're Mercer. They're not Mercer. South Carolina's got guys that are going to be in the NFL. It's on their own field. They've got a good crowd. They're going to probably show up and play, at least in the first half, with some life. And if we pull away, South Carolina will give up. We cannot let them hang around. We cannot give them a chance. If we do, it's going to burn us. It is going to burn us, and we might get upset again. And then all that DeBoer is a great coach now. Alabama fans are happy with him. It just goes right down the tank, and it's not looking good again. And then we essentially have to be perfect the rest of the way to make the playoffs. Like, if you lose to South Carolina, you've got to beat everyone else. You got to win at Auburn now. It makes the season look a lot different than it does right now, where we're currently ranked number 4th and we're happy and things are good. And no one's thinking about the Florida State game. We cannot overlook this team. That is the biggest key to victory for Alabama, is that we have to play as hard as we have the last 4 weeks against South Carolina. If we do, we'll come out with a win. If we don't, we could get upset.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, because
I'll say this real fast, kind of as a key to victory, but also as like a key to the rest of this year. You've got to start having these uncomfortable conversations like I mentioned earlier. And because we were talking off screen, like, man, South Carolina's struggling because, number one, your offense is anemic. You've had a lot of super seniors that left last year, and you look at a young team that is in the football game this year, and you can tell that they're young and then they're inexperienced, and that they just plain are not being developed properly. And so the uncomfortable conversation goes from, it's not just Shula that needs to go. It's not just an offensive overhaul. You may need an overhaul on your entire staff as a whole. Now, I know that Clayton White's defense, still a top 50 defense, but rushing defense-wise, you have struggled. Are you tired of the same up and down seasons? Because I mentioned this a lot on my show. Are you tired of it being like the stock market, where you'll have a great season one year, you'll have a bad season another year, you'll come back and have a great second half to last year, and then you fall flat on your face again? How much longer as a South Carolina fan base are you willing to accept that? And how are you feeling knowing that you may have to have those uncomfortable conversations about how Shane Beamer may not be your head coach by the time we get to this time, maybe next year, maybe not at this time next year, but maybe at the end of 2026, the conversations may be around that Shane Beamer may not be the head coach at South Carolina for very long.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like I'm curious to see how that's going to be, but I'm kind of 50-50 on whether Shane Beamer stays at Columbia or he goes to Plattsburgh.
It depends on how the end of the season turns out. If you finish 4-8 and you get embarrassed by Clemson, who doesn't have their number one receiver or their number one quarterback in Cade Klubnik, you got to have those conversations about, hey, man, him and his agent may be talking about, hey, Blacksburg might be a better place at this point, just to avoid the firing talk going into next year, to kind of save your coaching career. So that's definitely a conversation that has to be told. And your Clayton White's future might be up in the air, but he just signed an extension last year. But I unless Beamer goes to take another job somewhere and he takes his defensive coordinator with him, I don't know where. I don't see a scenario where Clayton White leaves and your offensive coordinator is going to leave in the same year.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that concludes the clip of the keys to victory, all right here on Alabama, the Voice of College Football, all right here. And lastly, but not least, we've got our score prediction segment to end the show. And Lucas, since you're our guest of honor, give us your score prediction for Alabama, South Carolina.
The line from when I looked at it, it was 13.5. I think Alabama ends up covering this one. I think they strike early in this game. I think it's going to be – I don't expect it to be very close. I think South Carolina's defense, for the most part, is going to keep them in the football game for as long as possible. But then that second half, I just see it being almost deja vu like what happened last week with Oklahoma. Give me Alabama in this one, probably 31-10.
Oh, there we go.
Because
That'll be fun.
your offense sucks right now. I don't know if you're even going to account for that 7. You may account for that field goal.
Yeah. Well, Jeffrey, what's your score prediction for this one? I believe I saw a little bit of your live stream with Will today, and you had Alabama winning by 21. And
Yes, I did. I actually was just going back to watch that to see exactly what I said. That's what I was doing right then because I forgot. I don't remember what I said because I didn't write it down. Still got to get better at that. But I said Alabama by 21, and my score was 35-14.
You know what's crazy? I have them by 21. I don't know if you heard my score prediction.
He's got 31-10 Alabama.
Yeah, I got 35-14. I almost went with it being closer, but I just feel like Alabama right now is locked in. I feel like this team is different this year. We have issues, but I just don't know if South Carolina's the type of team to expose those problems because they're really struggling. They could go out there and hang with us. We've seen so many upsets this year. I mean, that's the thing. It's getting to the point where people go, oh, I can't believe that upset just occurred. Are you really shocked? Are you really shocked Miami went down? No. I'm not shocked. Is anybody shocked that Penn State lost to UCLA anymore? I mean, like these games happen. I mean, it's upsets occur. I'm not even shocked anymore. If Alabama lost South Carolina, I would be like, wow, but it would not blow me away. Where I'm like losing it. It's just there's too many upsets that occur. But I think Alabama's playing very well. That's why I'm confident in that prediction. But definitely, only time will tell. I mean,
the fact that you have South Carolina scoring 14. Is that accounting for 7 from South Carolina and 7 from your special teams or defense?
That's a good question. I didn't really think about that. I just maybe South Carolina would get a couple scores in the first half because they're keeping it somewhat competitive. Maybe our run defense gives up a Sellers touchdown or something like that. I don't usually take into account like how they'll score. I just make the prediction, but you never know. I mean, maybe they get a pick 6 or something. Maybe
6 non-offensive touchdowns from South Carolina this year compared to I think 11 or 12 offensive touchdowns. That's all you got to know.
Interesting.
Oh, I think we're going to be seeing Ty Simpson throw a few touchdowns, about like 3 touchdowns. I think we're going to see a defensive touchdown.
I mean, I don't think Ty Simpson will throw a pick 6, but everybody's going to make mistakes. He had a mistake against Missouri. Maybe against South Carolina, he throws a bad ball. Because you're a little freer because it's not as good of a team, and you make a mistake, right? I mean, it could happen, or it could be a fumble. I mean, I just think maybe South Carolina gets a couple touchdowns. I think Simpson's going to have a really good game. I'm not concerned with that at all, but it's going to be interesting. Like I said, I think that Alabama wins this game comfortably, but I could be wrong. Again, we've seen so many upsets. We've seen DeBoer lose as heavy favorites. I mean, they were only favored by like 12. I mean, we were favored by like 24 against Vandy last year and lost. So, again, anything can happen. But I think we'll be fine.
Here's the final score I've got. Alabama 35-13. Oh, yeah. I can see that happening. Like that, I've got a good feel we'll definitely see that happen for sure.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah. Well, I will say this was another exciting edition of Alabama Crimson Tide Live, all right here on Alabama The Voice of College Football. And Lucas, what magic are you cooking up on South Carolina at The Voice of College Football and SEC Final Whistle and on Inside the Huddle?
You know what's funny is that our South Carolina page has been getting more traffic and attention than we've ever had before. The last 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, dating back to October 11th, we've had 50 new subscribers come and subscribe to South Carolina at The Voice of College Football. A lot of Twitter traffic. We had over 2,000 people joined our live stream against LSU. We had 2,000 that went back and rewatched the stream on YouTube, the 2 streams that I did from yesterday's show. And, I mean, it's just been incredible seeing the amount of just support that we've gotten, even in a small market like South Carolina. The SEC got week 9 predictions coming up pretty soon. Looking to get another guest for my week 9 predictions, but if not, I'll be rocking solo with that one. And then obviously Final Whistle every single night, usually around Sunday or Saturday night, breaking down all of the week 9 action, all of the SEC action after the final whistle has been blown for all of SEC action. And obviously you can holler us over at Gamecocks Inside. We're close to 20,000 followers on there. We are getting extremely, extremely close, so we're excited for that. Inside the Huddle, man, always rocking and rolling on college football stuff. But, man, we're excited for this year. We're excited for what's going to happen the rest of the college football season. We've been having arguably our best year yet when it comes to college football content. But, guys, man, this has been awesome show, man. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Absolutely. And of course, you can give a follow to Lucas on Lucas Hill SEC on X. And is it also on Instagram, or is the handle a little different?
It's different on Instagram. It's Lucas_Hill_17.
I thought it was. My bad. There we go. So y'all give Lucas a follow on IG and on X, and he will give you top-notch SEC takes, South Carolina takes, and in the world of college football. Jeffrey, what have you got cooking on Only Talk Sports, good buddy?
Today, me and Will and D did our predictions for every week 9 game. You don't usually like doing it this early in the week because stuff can change, injury reports, news. You never know, stuff can happen. But we fit it in today. It was a great show. We had a great time. So definitely check it out if you haven't already to see our predictions and our recap for the week 8 games as well. Also, I'll be doing my NFL predictions later this week, which, man, again, the NFL has been wild. You think college football is wild? The NFL has been crazy. Predicting that has been a mess. I don't even know how you can. Upsets everywhere. But I still try my best to get my predictions as right as I possibly can amidst the chaos. If you want to check that out, I would appreciate it. Also, follow me on X as well if you haven't already. I'm close to, I think, 17,000 followers. So definitely trying to get to 20,000 over there. Hopefully, you guys, if you see what I'm saying on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and you disagree with it, still give me a follow if you like college football, because we all disagree with each other. We all disagree with takes. Like, even people that, like, man, I respect this guy, like, he's one of those respected people in the sport, disagree with over half of what he says. I mean, that's just the way that it is. So again,
was it Josh Pate?
I've disagreed with Josh Pate before. Yes.
The good thing about Josh Pate is that he hasn't put Indiana on the Sarah McLachlan special.
So
I don't think he's put Alabama on there either, unless they did it after week 1.
no,
That is too funny.
But if Josh Pate's become the college football commissioner, I say put me in charge of the scheduling department.
Ooh, that's gonna be interesting.
I'm gonna make sure everybody's getting to play all their rivals.
Double J and Josh Pate.
There you go.
Shaking hands. Let's get to work. I'm all
commissioners of college football. That would be crazy. But yeah, definitely
2028.
But definitely subscribe to Alabama, the voice of college football, if you haven't already. We're getting close to 3,000 subscribers. And again, if you disagree with what we say over at Alabama, the voice of college football, that is okay. We probably disagree with you guys as well. That's what makes the discourse fun, is when you don't agree. I mean, I be civil, as people always say. I don't really care if you're civil or not, as long as it doesn't cross the line. I don't really care. Just have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Throw the insults, and we'll probably give them back in a reasonable way.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you agree with us, call us Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Central Time on the Alabama Call-In Show. If you disagree with us, call us 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on the Alabama College Show.
Doesn't matter what fan of what team you are. It doesn't matter. You can be a fan of Merrimack. You can be a fan of Hawaii. It don't matter. We'll take your calls.
I will say, If you love our takes, if you don't like our takes, it's all right there on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. We've got magic coming for you, all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. And of course, you can check me out on Jackson Johnson 979 on YouTube, where I've got some upcoming episodes of the Jacksonian, and I've got the Final Whistle Pits Analysis with Sports Talk with Austin. And for more updates of what I've got on Alabama with the Voice of College Football, the Jacksonian, Jatz's take of college football, Jatz's world of college football, my mistake, on Locked On West Virginia with Mountaineer Paul, and the once, twice week calls on the Paul Feinbaum Show, however long they're going to last. Check me out on Jats VOCFB on @/Twitter and on Instagram page, Jackson Johnson 543908. And if you want to give us a listen on Alabama with the Voice of College Football via audio, check us out on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And with that being said, we wish you all a happy Monday night. Get ready for some Monday night football. But Brody Smoot and I will be on tomorrow night on Alabama Primetime Live 33. We've got magic coming your way. And with that, we wish y'all a happy Monday and roll.
Tide.
I knew that was coming.